Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Edward Joseph, and let's talk live. Zahrie Walls was murdered. All right, let's talk. Well, today, peoples, has been such an interesting day. I am here, I am live, and I am going to talk about some things, peoples. Peoples, Zahrie Walls was murdered. You guys come on in. You guys come on in. You guys come on in, for there's so much to talk about, peoples. You guys come on in. Peoples, Zahrie Walls was murdered. And that is my personal opinion, peoples. I have no evidence to prove that. It is just only my theory, but it's my gut feeling that she was murdered. And the reason why I say that Zahrie Walls was murdered, peoples, is simply because all of these hilarious and nefarious narratives that is being projected out there doesn't make no sense to me. I said it doesn't make no sense to me whatsoever, peoples. It really doesn't. It really doesn't make no sense to me. I truly believe that Zahrie Walls was murdered. And I am going to give you my theory behind that. I said I'm going to give you my theory behind that, peoples. And so, if you guys just give me a moment, I'm just trying to get settled in here and things and put up this thumbnail and all. But we're going to get into this tonight, peoples, because see, I have literally scoured, I have literally scoured YouTube, literally scoured YouTube to no end, literally. And I have been trying to find some information about Zahrie Walls and some type of official report that the police or even the medical examiner or anybody. I've been literally trying to find some type of report to give me some sense as to what happened to Zahrie Walls. And thus far, peoples, I haven't seen anything, anything on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or anything. And all of these people who is given all of these different narratives and stuff, it is no official record from no official facility, such as such as the police department, the sheriff department, or any law enforcement there. Um, I'm trying to think of the people who does the water thing, the Coast Guard, or the fire department. Nothing, no official report whatsoever. None whatsoever. It's just all of these people who is just rendering their opinions when it comes down to this particular case. And then everybody wants to liken this case unto the Kanika Jenkins case because Zahrie Walls was Kanika's friend. And a lot of people are saying that, well, because she knew a lot about Kanika and what happened to Kanika, and she called out different ones and stuff, is that these people had set her up to be on a line. And people's one of the best ways to get away with murder is simply take them out on a boat in Chicago, take them out into deep waters and stuff, fill them up with a little bit of alcohol, and push them overboard. And that's it. And then just say that a wave had came and knocked them out. I mean, look at the case of Shanquilla Robinson when the people had came to Cabo, and all of these people came out there with the notion of killing this girl. And that's exactly what they did. They all got together, and that young lady, she just bolted on her big time and ended up snapping her neck, which is the end results. And so, because they had her money, they paid the people off and they came back to the States. And till this day, people's nothing happened to them. And we've seen the attack happen on national TV, which is YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and things. I mean, so many atrocities is going on, people, and nobody is being held accountable for it. In the case of the Kanika Jenkins case, peoples, they tried to get us to believe that this young lady got drunk within an hour of supposedly being down there at the establishment, and then being so-called left in a hallway for her to go ahead and walk some halls to that establishment, and then subsequently find herself and just so happened to walk into a kitchen and walk directly into a freezer. I mean, that's the narrative that they gave peoples. And they wanted us to believe this madness. And so, peoples, I don't believe for one moment that Kanika Jenkins walked herself into a kitchen, into a freezer, and laid down and died. I don't believe that for one moment. And so you had all of these people talk about the Kanika Jenkins case. The Kanika Jenkins sector came onto my live at one point, and there were some young ladies that was talking and things, and everybody, sat up here and clout up a wall and stuff. Yeah, we're the Kanika Jenkins sector, and we know all about this case. I said, okay, well, if you know all about all of this case, well, then talk to me. Tell me what your thoughts and views is upon the Kanika Jenkins case, and how did she just so happen to walk herself into a freezer at the Crown Plaza Hotel. And just like clockwork, peoples, they're all mouth and all hot air and bad breath, but they couldn't stand up for anything. They couldn't validate nothing, absolutely nothing. And for all of these years, peoples, many thousands of people made lives about Kanika Jenkins and how she was supposed to have died on the night. But people's, if you really look at the paperwork, and if you really listen to and have watched the people who have given testimony in this particular case, well, then you come to discover and find out that everybody was given a different narrative. Even her own supposed sister came on national TV and told the people that she has several videos of Kanika and things, but yet she never let the public see. But even before any video came out about Kanika walking some halls and things, she opened up her big mouth and said that she has the videos. Her clothes don't make her who she is, and this and that and the other. But see, the thing is, peoples, everybody was clouting up a while. And everybody has given a different narrative. And my thing is simply this. If there was any validity to the stupidity that they were saying, well, then the thing would be, why lie? Because if your sister had died in any manner to which you thought or perceived it to be, well, then you got to help me to make this make sense. It doesn't make sense for a young lady to come with some friends. It doesn't make sense for a young lady to come with some friends and then end up in a freezer. And this is what Zahrie Walls had stated to the public, had stated to the people. Now, she was very dignified, but she was amplified in her response because she called out these hilarious and nefarious friends of Kanika. And she said that I am not going to expose you publicly upon the internet, but I am going to privately chastise you. But she told you herself, peoples. She told you herself how she felt about these people. Now, Kanika Jenkins was Zaria Wall's best friend. And Zaria Walls had came over to TM's house on many occasions, peoples. Yes, she did. I said, yes, she did. And the thing is, people, because Zaria Walls had came over to TM's house, you would think that TM would have known who this young lady was. But TM tried to play it off is that I don't know who she was. I just know that she was a young lady that came over and did Kanika's hair. Now, come on, peoples. Now, Zaria Walls and Kanika wore the same type of ring. And Zaria Walls had Kanika's name tattooed on her chest above her heart. And Zaria Walls loved Kanika because that was her friend. And had Zaria Walls went to that party, Kanika would be alive today. But she didn't make it. She didn't make it, peoples, because see, friends, how many of us have them? Friends, the one you can depend on, let's be friends. But see, the thing is, peoples, Zaria Walls was Kanika Jenkins' true friend. A friend in need. They say it's a friend indeed. But see, this person didn't have friends. She didn't have friends like Kanika Jenkins. Because see, the thing is, people's on that boat, all of these people who were supposed to be Zaria Wall's friends had failed her. You got people who is speaking out and saying, well, we tried to help her. Oh, really? And so my summation is simply this, peoples. The waves was raging and the seas billows rose. And black people said that they was going to help her. And you heard the narrative, peoples. You heard these people stepping out and saying, yeah, we tried to help her. Several people jumped into water to try to help her, but the waves was raging on, peoples. The waves was raging on, and nobody could help her. They said that several people had jumped in the water to try to save her, but couldn't save her and couldn't even save themselves. Now, how ironic is that, peoples? How ironic is that the people who supposedly had saved her didn't save her. And the Negroes who had driven that boat out in the sea, out, way, way, way out in the deep waters and things, with no life vest on and no skills, no navigating skills, no skills of being on the water and knowing how to drive a boat or anything of that nature. They said, and I wonder who they is. Who is they that gave the narrative that 11 people was on the boat? Because I've never seen any official record from any official from Chicago that states that it was 11 people on the boat. But come listen to the YouTubers. YouTubers is the newscasters. Everybody's got something to say. And all of these people making posts and saying that, yeah, it was 11 people on the boat. 11 people on a little boat like that, people's way too many people on a small boat. Help me to make that make sense, people's. What sense does it make? They said in the beginning, many people died on that day. And one happens to be Zaria Walls, peoples. They said that she drowned. And they said that many other people drowned. But peoples, they said that many people drowned preceding that, meaning before Zaria Walls ever came to the pier or ever came to the dock or ever came to wherever she was to get on the boat. People died. And so, people's, is it Zaria Walls' legacy is going to be that the winds and the waves shall obey thy will? Peace be still. Peace be still. You know, y'all heard that song by James Cleveland. When the master was on the ship and he was in the midst of the ship, and there came a storm that was raging, and it shook the ship and it shook the life out of the disciples on the ship. And then somebody had came down and said, Master, carest not that we perish? And so they awoken Jesus out of a deep sleep. And Jesus came up from the middle of the boat and he had stood up. And all he did was just raise his hands and just say, peace be still. And the waters has immediately calmed. Where was the master of the boat, peoples? Who was the captain of the ship? Nobody has ever given any type of names to the people who was on the ship with Zaria Walls. We had some mysterious person that stated that we were on the ship, but we didn't even know her. And we tried to help her, but we couldn't. So if Jesus can calm the raging sea, who was the people on the ship? Where were they? And why did they go out into the far reaches of the waters and drive that boat, knowing that they had no navigational skills whatsoever? Peoples. Why would they do that, peoples? That is such nonsense and craziness to me. I never understood that, peoples. She was on the ship with a bunch of people who did not know her, according to the people. But then she was on the ship with some people who she did know. And so people, so according to the narratives that these people have given, I am not convinced whatsoever that they tried their darndest or hardest to try to help Zaria Walls. I think some nefarious bullshit had went on. Now, I had some conversations with some people and said, well, you know, she was out there on the waters and stuff, and she just happens to fall in the water. But see, people's, that narrative doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't. Now, this is my opinion. Now, don't get mad because I'm yielding my opinion. Now, I've seen all of the posts that the people made upon the Mama's channel and things, and everybody is saying this and that and the other, but that's fine. You know, they can say whatever they say, and I have the prerogative and the right to say what I need to say, and I am saying it, peoples. Yes, I am. And so a lot of people may agree and a lot of people may disagree, but that's fine because I never asked you to. I said, this is my personal opinion. Now, I am going to give you my reasonings behind that of what I say. Is that all right, peoples? Now, I have sat here for a couple of days now, scanning the airwaves to look for some official report from a coroner, from the fire department, from the police department, from the sheriff department, you know, anybody, even from the Coast Guard. Anybody that can validate what happened to Zaria Walls. And there has yet to be any official report that states exactly what happened. All it is conjecture and innuendos and theories, and then conspiracy theories. Well, peoples, if you think that what I'm about to share you and tell you is conspiracy theories, well, then that's fine. Let it be conspiracy. Let it be whatever you want it to be, peoples. That's fine. Because it really doesn't matter to me, because at the end of the day, peoples, my narrative still stands as to what I believe happened to Zaria Walls based upon the testimonies of these hilarious and nefarious people who is given all of these sayings. Now I'm still sitting here, and I'm gonna try to share with you a post, and I'm gonna try to share with you something of what this person had said. So if you would just bear with me for a moment, I'm calling up my editing software, and we're going to take a look at this. We're going to take a look at this one particular post, because this sets the stage for why I believe Zaria Walls was murdered. Why I believe. Now, it is not unthought of, peoples, because it happens all the time. I mean, it happened in the case of Kanika Jenkins. It happened in the case of Shanquilla Robinson. And so where you think that things is so far-fetched, it's not, peoples. It's absolutely not. Because when you have some hilarious and nefarious people who's out there who don't like you and who would do anything because maybe of jealousy, maybe of envy, maybe of strife, maybe they tried to make her their wife. I don't know, peoples. All I know is that the narratives that these people are giving is so suspicious and crazy to me. It is really crazy to me, peoples. And then let me get up on the mother, the mother. And I made a live the other day because I said, well, this woman is out here popping balloons and, you know, blowing up balloons and doing all like this and stuff, but then her daughter is dead. And so do you take the narrative that your daughter just died? She just flew off a boat and stuff, and that the people couldn't get to her? That's kind of crazy to me, people. That's really crazy. That is just so odd to me. It is crazy to even think that. But I'm gonna do this, people. Let me see if I. This is not going to. Well, maybe it worked. Let me do this. I'm going to. No, but see, it's cut off. So I had a full copy of this statement. Let me see. Y'all give me 1 second, because I'm looking for the statement that was okay. I do have it. Wait, I do. I think this let me see. What's this? No, this wasn't the statement that, or was it the statement? No, it wasn't. Let me see. Hmm. Okay, I think I may have to go back to that. All right, so let me do this, people. Let me do this. I'm gonna call up his video. I'm gonna call up that video that this gentleman had did, family TV. And so we're gonna go back to that, and we're gonna take a look at that right here of what he had said. Dang, but see, he started off halfway with that, so he didn't really show the. Yeah, okay, I guess he did. Let me see. But I had another copy of this, so we're going to show this little excerpt of what was stated. Okay, so let me do this. I'm just trying to get in position, people. So I can only show that little part right there. And I want you to listen to what this person had stated. Okay, let me see. And delete that. And then I'm going to go back here. And okay, so this is what this person said right here. Now you tell me, peoples, you be the judge, and you tell me, does this seem so darn suspicious? And would anybody with some real true intentions would say something like this? So let me share my screen, peoples. Let me share my screen. And then I'm going to play this in very, very slow motion. And then we're going to read this. So let me share my screen, peoples. And I'll get to the peoples in the chat in a moment. I'm just trying to get here and speak up on some things, peoples. So, y'all just bear with me, but let me share my screen here. Now, you all be the judge as to what you believe. And I'm sure that there's a lot of people that may agree with me and a lot of people that may not agree with me. But whether you do or whether you don't, that's fine. I don't care. Because like I said, this is my narrative. This is what I feel and think. And this person had stated, and I hope this is the whole thing. Yeah, it looks like it says, I hate y'all. Why do the person just come off and say, I hate y'all? Why are you hating anyone? For what reason are you hating anybody? The person comes off egregious and obnoxious. I hate y'all. She didn't say I like you. She didn't say I love you. She said I hate you. Well, that's fine. You can hate me all you want, but I love you with the love of Christ, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. So that right there tells me, and it sets the tone, because they're trying to deflect the blame. They're trying to state that, hey, we ain't had shit to do with this. But I surmise to you, the bitch did. She came up and said, I hate y'all. Well, why are you hating us? When your ass was the one that was out there on the water with her and you didn't do shit. And I'm going to explain to you why you didn't do shit. So you can hate me all you want, but you're going to hate me even more because I'm calling you out. Now, who was the author of this, peoples? See, the thing is, they don't want people to be held accountable for anything that they say. They don't want people to be held accountable, peoples, because, see, that's why they crop these things. They don't give a name to the things that the people are saying. Who made this post? What was the young lady's name? Because the bitch needs to identify herself. Yeah, I'm blaming you. I'm blaming you, and I'm going to tell you why I'm going to blame you. Because you're a fucking liar. And I believe that you were the one who murdered her. Because you came off with such disdain for the people. Just because the people rendered their opinion, their thoughts, their views about this case, now you want to hate us. What the fuck are you hating us for? Your ass did not help her. Now, let me tell you why I believe this person is the murderer, peoples. Let me tell you why. She said, I hate y'all. That's what she said. She said, I hate y'all. She said, yes, the fuck we did. Yes, the fuck you did what? See, that's already guilt right there. I hate y'all. Yes, the fuck we did. What in the fuck did you do? Trying to help her, we threw in a rope. Why did you throw in a rope too? That's Ebonic speaking, peoples. This is a ghetto black girl that has no sense whatsoever. First, she goes on to say, I hate y'all. Yes, the fuck we did. Bitch, you didn't do nothing. Because if you did, then she wouldn't have died. Okay, see, this is guilt because she's the only one that chimed out and nobody else chimed out, peoples. All of those supposed 11 people on that boat never revealed themselves first and foremost. And then they never said shit. Because they're part of the conspiracy. You were there. You saw what the fuck had happened. This bitch did it. And you ain't saying shit. And I'm going to tell you why I say that, peoples. She said, I hate y'all. Yes, the fuck we did. Try to help her. We, not her, we. Who in the fuck is we? How many goddamn ropes did you throw in? She said, we threw in a rope. So we threw in a rope. So how many goddamn people had their hands on a rope to throw in a goddamn rope? All it takes is just one person. See, she's implicating everybody else in it because everybody else that was there saw what happened and they ain't saying shit because they know they're going down for murder. So they said, peoples, they said, or she said, I hate y'all. Yes, the fuck we did. Instead of, yes, the fuck I did. No, she said we. So how many fucking people is going to throw in a goddamn rope? So this is what she said. She said, we threw in a rope, a vest, and all two of us off the boat. There it is right there. There it is right there. There is the goddamn confession, people. I hate y'all. Yes, the fuck we did. Try to help her. We threw in a rope, a vest, and all two of us off the boat. They threw all two of us off the boat. Who in the fuck is the all two of us that was thrown off the boat? That's what she said, right? She said a vest and all two of us off the boat jumped in and tried. They, what? Okay. So all two of us off the boat jumped in and tried they fucking hardest. We tried. What the fuck did you try to do? You motherfuckers jumped off the goddamn boat and you threw in the rope and you threw in the vest. So where's the fuck is the two people that got thrown off the boat with a rope in a vest? Where in the fuck are they? Because somebody's narrative said that one had swam and washed up to shore and made it. Who was the other fucking person that jumped off the boat that tried to help her? Did you see any goddamn posts of any other person that made it to shore? Do you know their name? Do you know their sex? Do you know their race? You don't know shit. All you got is this fucking person guilty as sin telling you when the girl went in. She said, peoples, trying to help her threw in a rope, a vest, and all two of us off the boat jumped in and tried. They fucking hardest. We tried. Man, if I was the goddamn police, I'll arrest her ass right now for just even saying this Ebonic shit. This is stupidity at its finest, peoples. This is how you know this is a fucking ghetto girl with no education. Okay. This is what she said. Jumped in and tried they fucking hardest. So who jumped in? Who did you throw over the boat? Who tried to save her? Who had the vest? Now this is the interesting part right here, people. So listen to this. This is the interesting part right here. She said, them waves are so fucking bad and heavy. We thought about everybody. We were risking our lives for her. How in the fuck were you risking your life when you threw two people into the water? You had a life vest and somebody had a rope, but that wasn't good enough because they didn't save her. And one person saved himself, but where in the fuck is the other person? Two lives gone because you threw them off the boat. She just told you what they did. I just shown you what they did. And she's a part of it. Nobody else made a statement but her, and she is guilty as fuck. Because she just told you what they did. They threw two people off the boat in the raging water. They threw two people off the boat, peoples, in the raging water with a vest and a rope. But it didn't do those two people no good because one, somebody stated that was able to swim to shore. Where in the fuck is the other person? Is that the missing person that everybody is looking for now and is still out to sea? You're guilty of murder. You're guilty as fucking sin. Where is the other person? Can anybody show me any post of anything that the second person that was off the boat made it to shore? Because see, instead of fucking getting mad at us, you ain't never told us what happened to the goddamn second person. Was you able to find them and rescue them? Because if you was, why in the fuck did you not rescue her? See? Listen to me, peoples. Listen to me, peoples, and listen to me carefully. Listen to me, peoples. This was a goddamn confession right here. Straight up, clear as day, unequivocal and undeniable confession. She didn't hate us, peoples, because the bitch didn't even know us to hate us. She hated her. She hated her. That's why she was thrown off the boat. And that's why the other two people was thrown off the boat. So now, peoples, help me to make this make sense. I'm getting ready to show you something, peoples. And then I want you to help me to make this make sense. And see if my theory that I am stating to you sticks. Now let me go to the part to where we see Zahrie on the water. I want to show that, peoples. Let's see Zahrie on the water. And that's very important, peoples, because that's going to bolster my claim, peoples. Let's see Zahrie on the water. Okay, so let me go ahead and put this down on timeline. And then let me go ahead and see. Okay, that's cool. That's exactly what I want right there. All right, so let me share my screen, peoples, because I want you to look at this here. Is that all right, peoples? And this is going to pretty much bolster my claim as to why I think it was murder. And I'm going to explain to you why when I show you this video, peoples. Now, let me do it like this. Instead of doing it like that, I can do it like this. Let me put it in here. Let me see if I have that video file here. I think I do. Okay, I think this is it right here.
And is still missing.
Thrown off the boat and is still missing. But that's not what I wanted to show, but this other one I want to show. So let me share this video file. We're going to come back to that one too. But this is the one that I want to show. I think this is it right here.
Girl, you know that you're a 10 like this jerk. Tell that.
Nope, that's not the one that I want to show either. Okay, so let's see. Do I have, well, I have it here. So let me just share my screen and then we're just going to look at it on my editing software. Then I'm going to explain to you. But we're going to go back to those two videos that I just showed you. And I'm going to tell you why, peoples. Let me share my screen. Okay. So when we look at this video, peoples, let's look at this for one moment. Oh, okay. Let me speed it up. Let me speed it up some, but I'm gonna turn up the sound and I'm gonna speed it up to normal. And speed it up to normal, and then I'm gonna slow it down. Now I want you to look at this in its normal speed. Okay, see how the boat is rocking? And then if you look on the side of her, see, look at those waves and see how those waves is raging, and look at behind the boat. See all of that water? That means that they are really moving fast in that water. Y'all see that, right? They're moving very fast in that water. Okay, so now let me go back and let me start at the beginning of this video and let me slow it down some. Let me slow it down half the speed. And I want you guys to look at something. Okay, look at the water right there. See the swelling of the water? And then look at the people behind right there. Look at the people behind. So now, the thing is, peoples, it ain't no 11 people on this boat. That's number one. It ain't no 11 people on this boat because, see, the way that this thing is rocking and whatnot, nobody is standing on the side of this boat, as you can see. See that? Nobody's standing on the side of this boat. And then the people are sitting back there. They're seated in this boat. And this boat is really not that big. This boat is really not that big, peoples. And the thing is this. Everybody is sitting back there on or in the boat or in the little space to where, you know, the people sit down at. And she's the only one that's on the forefront of this boat. And you can see the people back there. Look at the people back there, peoples. And then look at the swell of the water. You see that? Look at the swell of the water. So that boat is moving fast. And they are in very deep water. I want you to notice that, peoples. They're in very deep water. And the bluer the water, the deeper the water is. So if you look in the background, peoples, you do not see no other boats. You do not see no other boats around them, and they are speeding. Did you see that, right? Y'all see that, right? You don't see no other boats around, and you see just a few people that's sitting back in the boat. People, I surmise to you, it's not 11 people on this boat. You don't see no life raft whatsoever. Nothing. This boat is not carrying life rafts, peoples. It ain't no 11 life rafts in there. It's supposed to be a life raft for every patron on this boat. And you don't see a life raft the first. There's supposed to be a life raft that is supposed to be on the edge where the railing is. You see the rope right there, but you don't see no life raft. The life raft should be visible, peoples. It's not visible. You see a rope that's pretty much tied up. So if she fell in the water, that's the only visible rope that you see. So they're going to take some time to untie the rope. Peoples, you only got seconds because you see the swelling of the water. You see the raging of the water. You see how the boat is rocking. You see right here on the side, you see they are moving. You see all of that white behind the boat right there? That means they are really moving in the water. And so, yes, the winds is blowing. The boat is rocking. But the camera that she is holding, you can clearly see her visibly, peoples, and it's not really shaking so bad. So what that tells you is where she is sitting is very stable and sturdy. Because, again, peoples, if it wasn't sturdy, there's no way that she would have been up there in the first place. The way that they're flying through that water, and that water is really just like raging all around them. If she ever thought that she was in fear of her life, she wouldn't be where she is. And the waters is raging like that, and she's up there with no life raft, no nothing. She wouldn't be up there, peoples, if she felt that it wasn't safe. To be honest with you, peoples, on that boat, that was the safest place to be. Right there where she was. That was the safest place to be. So if anything was to happen, she was right there. She was on top of the boat, right dead center. If the boat had bounced up or something like that, the people in the back would have been ejected over the boat quickly because they're like right there by the edge. So all it takes is just for them to hit a wave and just boom, and then the people from behind the boat would have literally popped up and flipped over. It happens all the time, peoples. It happens all the time. You would think where they are is the safest place. No, you would be safe if you're strapped down. But they wasn't strapped down. They were literally on the edge of the boat while she was directly in the center of the boat. And then that boat moving in the manner to which it was, peoples, and it's rocking and it's, swaying back and forth over and over and over again. If she ever thought that her life was in danger, she would have never been up there in front of that boat without a life raft or without a vest on. Nobody had a vest, peoples. You did not see a vest at first. So the people lied when they said, yeah, there was some people on the boat with a vest. No, people, it wasn't them. It was somebody else. It wasn't them. Now you see the ship way in the background, people. So let me slow it down so you can see the ship way in the back, because that is a cruise ship. And that ship was far away from them. Right there. Bingo. You see it right there, right? That is a cruise ship. And that ship was far away from them. And then by them booking in that water, they were getting further and further and further away from that ship. And you didn't see no other ships around. No other ships around, peoples. You see that, right? Okay, so now, when the people say, oh, well, there was a wave that hit and then she fell in the water, peoples, how could that happen when she's in the center of the ship? Because even if they hit a wave, she would have tumbled to the side, but she would not have popped up and over no railing, peoples. Did you hear what I said? I said she would have slid to the side, peoples. And the railing was right there to protect her from going overboard. But this dispels the myth because she's in the center of the ship. And the ship is topsy-turvy, it's rocking. And the waves is going. But she's in the center of the ship without a life raft, peoples, without a life vest. And look at the white, those little white things right there. Those are swells. So when the water starts to rumble, you see those little white patches in there, and that's the swelling of the water, meaning that the water is turbulent. It's very turbulent out there, and it's very windy. So it's very windy and it's turbulent. But peoples, do you see her hair flying over in her face? You don't see it. Let me put it regular speed right here, and let's look at it. Her hair is blowing a little bit, but not really all that bad, right? See, you see the little gust of wind, but it's not really all that bad. And then look, they're moving in that boat. See that? These inexperienced people is out in the deepest part of the ocean. They are in the deepest part of the ocean, peoples. The wind is blowing, but it is not enough to blow her off where she is. The ship is rocking, but it's not enough to rock her off the place where she is. They are flying through the water, but it's not enough to knock her off where she is. So now, peoples, help me to make that make sense. How in God's name could you ever formulate your mouth to say that this woman fell off a boat when she is on, I don't know what you call it, the bow, the stern of the boat, in front of the boat, whatever you call it in ship terms. She's on the boat. They're moving fast. The wind is blowing. The water is raging. The boat is rocking. And she's comfortable taking a selfie while the boat is in turbulent waters. Okay? The boat is in turbulent waters. She has no life jacket on, but she's taking a selfie. And she's up there by herself, where the other people is in the back of the boat. She's just up there by herself. All right, so now, theory. If she fell in the water, would they have seen her? And if they have seen her, peoples, at the speed to where they were going, they would have been blew past her and wouldn't even know. They wouldn't have been able to find her because, the water is swelling and stuff. She's just a little body. She's just have on kind of like a little black outfit and things, just all skin. She would have sunk in the water for a moment. And then by the time that she surfaced up, they are already damn near a mile away or something. Would they have known that she fell in? And see, that's the question that I'm raising to the people, because how would they have known that she fell in? Because the boat the boat is going, it's moving, peoples. It's moving, and it's moving at a rapid pace. So did a wave hit and then all of a sudden she just bounced up and then just so happened to fall overboard? And then if that was the case, by the speed of the boat, they would have been long gone. They would have been long gone. She would have been in the water, and it would have been almost impossible to see her. They would have been long gone. So, how did she fall off the boat, peoples? How did she fall off the boat? Did they stop the boat And were they twerking and doing all that in the midst of the ocean? Let's take a look, peoples. Let's take a look. Let's go back to that other video that I had just shown you. Because if that's the case, then that's something different. I said if that's the case, that's something different, peoples. So let's see those girls twerking. Let me go back to that video, people. So I'm trying to go back to that video where those girls was twerking. So y'all give me a moment, because see, I'm stating my case, peoples, and it's a very valid case. I said it's a very valid case right here, and this is something that the people wasn't even paying attention to. Okay, so that wasn't it. So let me go back to those girls twerking. Nope, that wasn't it. So where is that? Where is that to where they were twerking? I got that video. I was just playing it just a second ago, but I stopped it. So let me go back here. Nope, that wasn't it. Dang, where's that video at? I just played it. So let me go back here to, let me go back here. And then let me see if I can call it up right here. Let me see if I can call it up right here. So go to videos, video file, and let me see, there's download. So, okay, so it's either that one or that one. So I'm going to try this one first. So it's not that one. So I'm going to remove that. So now let me try the other file. Yeah, this is it right here. Okay, bingo right there. There it is right there. So now, you see these girls, they're twerking. And so let me see if I can find this video. Let me see if I can find this video. Where did I find that video? That was that right there. So let me go back to my downloads and let me see if I can find that video. Downloads. No, but where did I find that video? Okay, I think this is it right here. Zahrie was. Nope, that wasn't it right there. Dang, I gotta label these videos so I know exactly what's what. There it is right there. Okay, so I'm gonna put this video in my editing software, and then we're gonna take a look at this, peoples. I'm gonna put this in my editing software, and then we're gonna take a look at this right here. And then we're gonna see if we can make sense of this. So I'll put that in there. We'll put that in right here. We're going to silence the music, and then we're going to play this in slow motion. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So I'm going to take this video off. I'm going to share my screen, and then we're going to take a look at this. All right. Now let's look at this video, peoples. And so I'm gonna play it in slow motion right here. And so I'm gonna play quarter of a speed because it's gonna go real fast. So let me see, is that good? Yeah, that's good. Okay. So now, peoples, there again, there you see the swelling right there. The boat is moving real fast, and look where she is. She is stable. The boat is moving. Is rocking. Now look at these girls right here. They're sitting over here and they're on the edge and they're twerking. So let's cut this down to that part to when we see them right here. We're just going to get this part right here. We're going to just keep playing this part over right here. Okay, so this is when she's videotaping her friends or these girls twerking. So let's delete that because we already got that. Let's go to the next thing right here and let's get this little part right here. And that's all it is. It's just a little tiny clip, just ever so quick. Okay, and then let's cut that. And we're just going to keep looping this. We're just going to keep looping this part. So let's put a loop right on that. No. I don't want to do all that. I just want to loop that part. So I don't think it's going to let me do it without having to loop the whole thing. All right, so let me do this. Let me save this. Let me save this movie as Zahrie Walls on the water. No, I put on the water already. Zahrie Walls edited clips. Okay, so I have that. So everything will be just as is like that when I call that up. So now I want to delete this. I want to delete this. And then I just only want this. So we're going to just loop that. It's this little clip. Now we're going to slow this really down some because I want you guys to see something. And we're just gonna loop it because now look how calm. All right, come on, I want you to play it and loop it. I said loop, so put it on loop. Okay. Look how calm the water is, peoples. Look how calm the water is. All right. When they're up and they're twerking. And now I want you to notice something while they're up and they're twerking. Look in the background. In the background, they are close by the dock. Because see, at Navy Pier, they're in that general area to where you're kind of like fenced in. You know, they wasn't out in the raging sea and stuff. Where they were is right here, because if you look in the background, you can clearly see that rock, that wall or something. Now let me show you some other pictures of the Navy Pier, so you will get a sense of what I'm talking about. Now this is going to make a big significant difference in that of what you were thinking and stuff. One little Bo Peep, you know, again, man, I don't have no problem in you coming in to the chat, and I don't have no problem in you being here. But last night, for what you did was crazy, hilarious, and nefarious. That was just totally uncalled for. Now, I have always told you guys, I make the lives and I play back my lives, and that live that I played back on last night was 2 years ago. And so for you to accuse me of taking your picture, making a fake page and posting your picture to the live and stuff, and then me being live and then using your picture and making a post, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. It's no reason why I would ever even want to show you a picture in the first place, let alone do some shit like that. I don't do shit like that. I don't do shit like that. I don't take people's pictures and make fake posts and stuff and then post it up and then trying to present it as if it's the other person and things. If anything I got to say to you, I'll just say to you. I ain't got to make no fake page. I'll tell your ass right now. where to go, what the fuck to do, and whatever and things. So that was totally uncalled for, Mel. Totally uncalled for. Totally. Don't ever do that again in my life. People, I'm telling you, anybody who comes into my life with this fuck shit, I'm going to immediately eject your ass and I'm going to immediately block your ass for all eternity to where you'll never be able to come on any page whatsoever. Now, you've been with this family forever and a day. Nobody has been talking about you. Nobody has been doing anything to you. And I don't know why you consistently keep thinking that people are after you or doing anything and stuff when nobody is doing nothing to you. You was my moderator. But as a moderator, there is a certain decorum that you have to uphold. You of all people shouldn't have been ever coming out like that, saying anything like that, let alone doing anything like that. And if you ever thought that I would do something like that, well, goddamn it, you don't fucking know me. Now, I'm not going to edit that part off the live, but I'm admonishing you now. Don't ever do that shit again in my live. If you got to alt with me or anything, you take it offline. You don't put it on here to where all of these motherfuckers can see. You're lucky I don't block your ass now. Don't do that again, little peep. Don't do that again, Mel. That was totally uncalled for. Totally uncalled for. That's some shit that customs would do. I don't play when it comes down to my people. And there's no reason to put you on blast and things for no reason. The only time I get on anybody, even you, is when you guys come in and do that fuck shit. Do that stupid shit. That shit that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Nothing to do with what I'm doing. That's why I get on you, because you be doing some fuck shit at times. And I got to call you out. Don't do it again, little Bo Peep. Don't do it again, Mel. Because if you do, I'm going to block your ass for all eternity. And that goes for you, and that goes for any of my moderators, and that goes for anybody who's watching my live. Don't come into my fucking channel with any goddamn bullshit and nonsense. It's not going to be tolerated. Not this time. We had our days of all of that getting mad and all of this shit. That shit is over with. Anybody comes in this goddamn house, this goddamn live with any type of fuck shit, I'm going to immediately eject your ass for all eternity. Period. Now, peoples, you know, I love little Bo Peep. That's my sister, peoples. I don't like people to fuck with her. You can fuck with me. Don't fuck with her, and don't fuck with none of my moderators. Don't fuck with my people. That's a good way of getting ejected out of here quickly too. But that was just some fuck shit that she was on. I don't know. But that's no here or there. It's said and it's done. Just don't do it again. Is that all right, peoples? All right. So now, peoples, like I had stated here, let me go ahead and let me share my screen so I can show you the perimeter of Navy Pier. Because, again, I don't know where she got on the boat. You got conflicting stories. You got people who say, well, Navy Pier is northwest of this or southwest of that or whatever and so on and so forth. Wherever the fuck she got on the boat, her body was found 1.5 miles from Navy Pier. I don't know Chicago. I don't want to know Chicago. I don't give a fuck about Chicago. I'm just here to talk about this goddamn case. So wherever the fuck you guys do out there, you want to get on a boat, go out to the middle of the ocean, drink and stuff, and do all of this fuck shit. and then unalive yourself because you're doing stupid madness, well, that's up on you. Nobody ain't gonna sit back here and worry about you. Once they have a funeral service, your ass is history. Nobody's thinking about you no more. So peoples, as black people, be responsible peoples. If you don't know how to navigate the waters and stuff, don't be out on the goddamn high seas drinking and doing whatever else. You ain't got no experience. How many goddamn black people out there got some experience driving a boat and been on the high seas and stuff? See, and then especially been out there without no life vest and knowing your fucking ass can't swim. You can't even swim in a 2 feet of water. So how the fuck are you going to get out there in the middle of the ocean driving a goddamn boat so fast like you're bat out of hell? And then something like this happens, and then what the fuck you going to do? You stupid. Don't put your life and anybody else's life out in jeopardy. They done told you peoples many times over. Many people died that day. And then many people died before that day. And then many people are dying after that day. They told you. And you stupid people still do it. They told you there was 20 rescues that day. And she was one amongst the people who had died. And it didn't have to happen. Accident or not, it didn't have to happen. But I'm going to prove to you, peoples, that this was a murder and it wasn't no accident. Is that all right, peoples? Now, let me share my goddamn screen, people, so you can see the pictures. Because you've seen when they asses was out there on that goddamn boat twerking, They had a barrier around them. Let me show you these pictures, peoples. Let me show you the pictures of the Navy Pier. Okay, y'all see that? This is the goddamn Navy Pier. Now look at the color of the water, peoples. The color of the water is kind of like something kind of greenish like. That means that the water is pretty much shallow, and it's not shallow to the degree to where it's not deep, but it's not like real deep in the open ocean, peoples. You see that? You see the color of the water? I said, do you see the color of the water? Now let's look at this picture. It's a little further out. Look at the color of the water, peoples. It's a lot different from that of what I've just shown you. It's a little darker. But you see that, right? So the further out you go, the darker the water is, peoples. And see, this is the perimeter right here. And then if you go and look in the background, peoples, you see that little line right there? See that little line right there? And let me see if I can blow this shit up. Okay. Let me show you. Now you guys should be able to see this shit. Okay, right there. You see the line, you see that perimeter right there? It's like a rock fence. I think they got another picture here that I can show that makes it even more clear. So let me reduce this down back to 175. And let me see if I can find another picture that's a little bit more clear. That shows you the perimeter. Because they were within the perimeter. So now look. Look at that. You see, look at the color of the water. And then look at the ripples of the water. It's just a light little wave. So the closer you get to the pier, peoples, the less of the raging of the water. Do you understand? See, the closer you get to the pier, the water is not swirling. It's not turbulent. You see that, right? Look at that right there. It's so calm. Okay. All right, let's look at some other pictures here. Okay, this is a prime example right here. This is the goddamn perimeter that you were seeing in the background where they were, because they was within this perimeter here. This is a full perimeter around the goddamn pier. And so as long as you are within the boundaries of this, you're good. But anytime that you come out the boundaries of here, now you are in trouble, especially if you don't know how to navigate. Now look at these people right here. They got seats, they got the railings and stuff, but they're in the boundaries. So anybody fall in the water, I mean, it'd be easy to pick the people up. They're not out in turbulent waters. They're not out in the grand ocean, peoples. So yeah, look at the people. They're tourists. They're in within the perimeter right here of the pier. See that? And then you can go around to the side and stuff. And then right here, there's another picture. Look at the water, peoples. You know? And then look right here, peoples. Look at the water. The water is nice in kind of a light greenish blue. You see that, right? Shallow waters. Here's another picture, peoples. Now you got the little tugboats and all like this. You got the Ferris wheel and all like that. Look at the water, shallow water. Okay. And then here's another picture right here, shallow water. So these are the channels to where the boats come in and dock at the pier. Okay. Here's another picture. Now, if you look out in the distance, you can see kind of like a little line right here. And then you can see that little thing right there to where you seen in Jaws. You know, when the girl was out there swimming things, that little kind of like little thing that sits in the water and stuff. Well, that's the indicator to let the people, let the ships know when they're coming to dock at the port. They have to stay within those boundaries right there. You go outside the boundaries, now you're out in the open ocean. As you can see, they went outside the channel. They went outside the boundaries with no goddamn experience whatsoever. As you can see in the picture. Y'all see that, right? Okay, now look, here it is again. Look at the water. Water is still, the further you come out, it's getting a little darker. Because when we're back here by the Ferris wheel and stuff, the water was like light green. Now it's getting darker because now you're going into deeper waters, peoples. See that? Look how nice and kind of light greenish color. Y'all see that, right? Okay, so let's move on a little further out, peoples. Let's move on a little further out. Now, there you see right there in the foreground, you see all of these boats. All of these boats is within this perimeter right here, because there you see that wall right there. It's a wall right there, and that's where all of the boats congregates. Y'all see that, right? You see all of these boats congregating right there. This kind of what you can call a little lagoon or whatever and stuff, but it is close to the dock. All right. Y'all see that, right? And so rarely do you see any boats out in the midst of no man's land. Y'all see that, right? So you cannot go high speed when you're close to the dock. If you're close to the dock, ain't no way that you're going to be moving in a boat high speed like that in this particular area. So that means they came out of the perimeter right here to go out into the open ocean, peoples, as you can see in the picture right here. All of these boats is right here. So anybody fall in the water, you got all of these boats right there. They can just literally pick you up. You ain't seeing nobody going speeding in no goddamn boat over in this lagoon right here, peoples. It ain't happening. Do you see what I'm saying, peoples? Okay. So now look at the channel, peoples. Now they have several ways of getting in, because see, now in the forefront, I mean, in the background back there you see the Ferris wheel. But see, when you go out from the bridge right here and you go out, look at the far distance, there is open water. And then the water, look how blue it is. This is the greenish, and then that's really blue out there. And the further you out, the more darker the color is going to be, peoples. So this is the channel right here. If they would have stayed their asses in here in this area, they would have been good. See? You got the cruise ship right there. You got the little other boats and stuff. Still, look at the water. The water is little greenish, peoples. It's not dark. It's not dark blue. You see that, peoples, right? It is not dark blue. Okay? Then look at it in this perspective right here. Still, there's the boat. There's the Ferris wheel. And then there, that little thing right there, as you can see right there in the corner, that is that little thing to where you come out the channel from this area. So had they stayed their little asses in this area, then they wouldn't have been in danger, but they came out of this channel right here. Y'all see that, right? Okay, so let's look at another picture. They can't be speeding in this area, peoples. Do you understand? Now look. See, here it is right here. Here's the channel right here. Here's that wall that encompassed the perimeter of the pier. Now look at the water. See how the water is kind of like a little dark blue? And then the further out that you get, the color changes a little bit. Now you got the ship that's running out in very deep water, in open water. And then if you look out in the far background, it ain't nothing that you can see, right? You see that, right? It ain't nothing around. No pier, no land, no nothing. All it is just open water, as you can see, peoples. Y'all see that, right? Okay, so now, what's your point, Edward Joseph? Well, I'm trying to tell you, peoples, goddammit, if you will ever open up your goddamn ears and listen, they went out to open water. Someplace where they shouldn't have never taken their asses to, but they did. They did. And how I know? Because their asses was in the goddamn boat flying out in the open water, like how you see this ship right here, with no skills, no understanding of the boat. See that? Just open water. Now, this is exactly what I'm saying right here. You see that wall right there? It's the perimeter. This is the perimeter to the pier. You go outside this boundary right here. Now you are navigating in open water. You see that right there, right? Look at the water. The water is a nice little green. It's not deep. So how she fell in there, shit, she wouldn't have drowned in there, peoples, because there was other boats around and stuff. Now let's look at this big area right here. See, now this is what I'm talking about right here. See, there's the thing right there, that there's the border right there. Here you go through this channel, and once you come out this little area right here where that little thing is, you're out there where that little thing is, out there in open water. And that's where they were, flying their little ass off in a boat with no goddamn skills whatsoever. What the fuck was you doing out there with no life vests, flying the boat at full speed, knowing your ass don't even know what the fuck you're doing, and you're just out in open goddamn water? Okay, so now let me show you, peoples. You see that? So I'll walk this down, and I've shown you how, in the difference in, if they would stayed in this channel, they would have been good, but they didn't stay in this channel. They did at first, because I'm gonna show you how I know, because you see that right there, the border. Now let's go back and let's look at the video, because when they were up there and they were twerking their little asses in the background, peoples, you see the border. They were outside the border, but you seen the border because they were still close to it. And they were twerking their little asses. And look, it was a distance from where they are to the border. So they wasn't really so, they were far out, but they were still close enough to the border to where, okay, that's cool. Everything is died down. Look what they're doing. They're at the edge of the boat. They're twerking. So you got 1, 2, 3, and she's 4. And then the other people was in the back. So now, which one of these bitches was the one who made the post and saying, I hate you all? Which one of these bitches were telling us that they hate us? They wasn't speeding in the boat, peoples. The boat was stationary. The boat was stationary. So you see the person right here with a cup in her hand. So it's hard to distinguish whether it was a guy or girl, but it kind of almost seems like it's a girl, because it looks like, they got they got white fingernails. That's what it looks like right there, but it's hard to tell. Okay, but see, look where she is. Now I want you to notice something. Look where she is sitting, and if they hit a wave or something, she wouldn't have immediately been ejected off the boat, peoples, because she would have been right here, and that railing would have saved her. She would have had to go up, roll, and that railing would have saved her from going into the water. You see that, right? The railing would, if she hit any type of wave or anything, she wouldn't have been immediately ejected up. The girl is heavy. She's thick. She's a big girl. So even if they hit a wave, she's not going to bounce way up in the air and then fly off the boat. Because if she did, then look, peoples, they wouldn't have never known that she fell off the boat, because the boat was speeding in deep waters. So if she fell off, they wouldn't have never known that she fell off. And if she fell off and at the speeds that they were going, peoples, well then how in the fuck would they have been able to throw a life raft? And there's the life raft right there. There's the little buoy thing. So if anybody falls over, you throw that out, they hold on to that, and then you can reel them in with that. That's why you have that on a rope. So they grab it, you pull the rope, and you pull them in. You pull them into the boat and take them into the boat. So my thing is simply this, people. They are stationary and they're sitting up and they're twerking. The boat is not running fast. Do you understand what I'm saying? The boat is not running fast. But she's sitting in the same position. You see that, right? The boat is not running fast. So let's play this. See? There's no ripples in the water. All they're doing is just twerking their little asses. See that? All they're doing is just twerking their little asses. And they're on the edge of the boat. You see that, right? The water is not raging, peoples. They're close to the pier because behind them, you can see the barrier that I had showed you earlier. There it is right there. So they're stationary. They're not driving the boat in deep waters. Now it's a difference. So let's go from here. And then let's call up the other things that we just deleted. Let's call it up. So we really have to go back. Okay, we got that and we got that. Now, let's look at this right here. Now it's a big difference. Look. Now it's a big difference, peoples. Look. Let me speed that up a little bit. You see that, peoples? Let's play that. Look at the raging water. They are moving. The boat is rocking. Nobody has on a life vest. Now they are in deep water. They are in very deep water. And if you look in the back, peoples, look how far that they are from civilization. Look how far they are from the pier or whatever is back there. They are far, far away. They're not close. They're moving in the water, and they're moving at high speed because you can see the ripples. Now look at the water. The water is deep blue. That's why they call it the deep blue sea, because they're out in open ocean. The boat is rocking. The boat is running very fast, and she's still sitting in the same position without a care in the world, because if she ever thought that she was going to fly off the boat, peoples, she wouldn't be in the position where she is. How in the fuck are you going to sit here and you're going to be on top of the boat and you're flying that fast in deep water and you ain't got a goddamn life raft? You ain't got a light vest or anything. And look at her. She's just rocking. And look at the water in the back right there. Look at the water in the back. So let me slow it down. Let me stop it at that point. Okay, right there. Look at that. That's the motor to the boat. That little red thing back there. And look at the water. See how white the water is? That thing is really pushing that boat so fast in the water. So now my point is simply this. How in the fuck did she fall out the boat? Because they said that a wave had hit. So did the wave hit while they were going high speed? Or did they stop in the middle of the ocean and then a wave had hit and then somehow just knocked her off the boat? How in the fuck did that happen, peoples? Help me to make that make sense. Anybody chime the fuck out? How in the fuck did she fall off the goddamn boat? Because if she ain't fell off the boat and the boat is going high speed, how in the fuck did she fall off the boat? The only way that she could have fell off the boat, peoples, is if that boat was stationary and somebody pushed her ass off. Because you know how I know that? Let me tell you. How I know that, people, I'm glad that the fuck you asked. Let me tell you, peoples, because simply this. And let me get back to you over here. How I know that they were fucking stationary is because of what this girl had said. Let me go back to it, peoples. Let me go and share my screen. And I'm fit to prove you my point. This is how I know that this is some fuck shit. Let me prove to you my point. Because see, the thing is, peoples, it's simply this. She couldn't have fell out no moving boat. Did you hear what I said? I said she couldn't have fell off a moving boat. The boat had to be stationary in the water. Because if she fell out a moving boat, they would have to turn the boat around to go get her. Did you see what I'm saying? See, if the boat is moving so fast as it is and she fell in the water, well, they are already a great distance from her. And then by the water swelling like it is, they wouldn't have never been nowhere around her. And it would have been difficult to find her out in open water. That's how I know that she did not fall off no boat moving. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're not listening to me, peoples. I need you to open up your goddamn ears and I need you to listen. If she fell off that boat and that boat was going at the speed that it was, they would have been at a great distance from her. And the only way they can get to her is to turn the motherfucking boat around and then go by her. That didn't happen. So I know she didn't fall off no boat moving. They had to stop that boat right in the middle of nowhere. How I know? Because this is what she said. Let's look at this, people. This is what she said. She said, "I hate y'all. Yes, the fuck we did. Trying to help her. We threw in a rope, a vest, and all two of us off the boat jumped in, and they let's move it. So let's move it a little faster. So I'm going to put it at a quarter of its speed. Okay, let's read this. Nope, not in reverse. I'm going to go forward. Let's put it a quarter of its speed forward. Okay, let's move this. Okay, let's read this. It says, "I hate y'all. Yes, the fuck we did. Tried to help her. We threw in a rope, a vest, and all two of us off the boat jumped in, and they fucking hardest we tried. They fucking hardest we tried. Okay. Them waves are so fucking bad and heavy. We thought about it. Everybody. We were risking our lives for her and don't even know her. Fuck. Y'all, I never experienced death. I'm fucking ruined and hurt. I cried for that girl. I fucking hate y'all." What is she saying, people? What the fuck is this bitch saying? I hate y'all. Y'all, yes, the fuck we did. Tried to help her. We threw in a rope, a vest, and all two of us off the boat jumped in, and they tried fucking hardest. Now think about it, peoples. Did you see what I just shown you? Did you see what the fuck I just shown you, peoples? How in the fuck could they go and throw in a goddamn rope to her? How the fuck they can throw in a goddamn rope to her? And y'all hold on for a moment. Hello? Okay, peoples, I'm back. So now, understand one thing, peoples. They said that they fucking tried to help her, and they threw in a rope, and two people jumped in. So I want you to picture the scenario, peoples. Remember when I have shown you her riding
That
the
jug
waves.
10 like this jerk. Tell
Okay,
that
let me turn up this. So I have shown you her riding the waves, peoples. Okay, I've shown you her riding the waves. Let me share my screen a different way because I don't want to see these girls' asses. They're fucking asses. I don't even know why they're trying to twerk with their big fat asses. That's all they are. They're jackasses. The motherfucking jackasses. They're bitches. And I'm gonna tell you why, peoples. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. Okay. Why is okay? I gotta remove that first. Okay, there we go. All right. So let's play this, peoples, right here. Let's play this, and I'm gonna talk. Okay, so let me move this a little faster. So then we're just gonna loop this little part right here. I'm gonna move this a little faster than that. So we're gonna go half the speed. So look at that, peoples. She's on the water. The boat is moving. Nobody's around them. So when other people say that, yeah, well, we were there and we tried to help her, where in the fuck are you at, peoples? Where in the fuck did you see any other goddamn boat and they're running fast in the water? So somebody else from another boat was supposed to jump in the goddamn water and try to save her. But how in the fuck are they going to try to save her and they're running real fast in the water and they're not around no other boats? So the only other scenario that you can think of, people, that would make sense is that they stopped in the middle of the ocean. Because if she fell off, peoples, look at the speed that they're going. She would have been in the water, boom, gone. That's it. We don't know where she is. Before the time that they had a chance to react, they're far away from her. They're far away from her. So even if she fall in the water, they are far away from her. So how do you go and thank you, Zahrie, because that's what I'm saying too. How in the fuck are they going to try to save you, ma'am? And throw in a rope in a vest and they're moving in the fucking water. And you haven't fell off the boat at high speed and the water is raging. The only way that you can be able to fall off a goddamn boat if the boat has stopped. The boat had to stop in the raging water. Peoples, look, the boat had to stop in the raging water. And if the boat has stopped, peoples, and she fell off the boat, then and only then can you throw a rope to her. And somebody jumps in the water because they're in close proximity to her. Okay? That's the only way that can happen. Because she couldn't fall in the water, peoples, while the boat was moving. They wouldn't have been able to find her. So the boat had to be stationary in deep waters. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. So now, if the boat had stopped in deep waters, peoples, well, then help me to make this make sense. If the boat had stopped in deep waters and two people had jumped off the boat to try to save her and they threw a line, well, that's indicative of the fact, peoples, that the boat was already stopped. Because if you're going to jump off a goddamn boat, peoples, You're not going to jump off a goddamn moving boat. You're going to jump off a boat that is stationary, right? Right. So if two people jumped off the boat and they threw a rope to her, peoples, that means the boat was stationary. The boat wasn't moving. Because it doesn't make no sense to throw out a rope and the boat is moving fast. Or the boat was moving at all. It doesn't make no sense to throw out a goddamn rope and the boat is moving. So the boat had to be stationary. So now, peoples, you see what it says. We did try to help her. We threw in a rope, a vest, and all two of us off the boat. So they threw all two of us off the boat. So this bitch saying that she jumped in the water? Bitch, you didn't run and jump in the water, god damn it. You're lying, you fucking bitch. You're fucking lying. Your ass was up there twerking and you didn't jump in the water. People, no fucking body is going to jump off a moving boat. Understand that. See, this is the part that you guys are missing. This is the part that you guys don't understand. No fucking body is going to jump off a moving boat. They just told you that they threw themselves off the boat. So if they threw themselves off the boat, it means that the boat had stopped. And in order to get to her, the boat had to be in close proximity to her. For them to throw a rope and a vest, and for some people to jump off the boat. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so they said, well, the fucking waves, it's hard, and it was heavy, and we're rocking in the water and stuff. So you're just like her. You're in the goddamn water. How in the fuck did you get out the goddamn water? Did the people try to save your ass? Because you are in the water. See, she's saying that, look, right here, people, this is what it said. It says that we threw in a rope, a vest, and all two of us off the boat jumped in, and they fucking hardest we tried. Them waves are so fucking bad and heavy, we thought about everybody. We were risking our lives for her and don't even know her. Why the fuck would anybody go into raging waters to try to help somebody that they don't fucking know? That's crazy to me, peoples. That's fucking crazy. And then you tell me what goddamn boat that was what was right there by them that see this girl jump in the water or be thrown in the water or whatever, and then somebody jump in. You're not going to jump in no water in a moving fast boat, peoples. Understand that. I need you to get that. I need you to get that. Understand that. No fucking body is going to jump in no goddamn water in a fast moving boat. And even if that's the case, guess what, peoples? You had to fucking turn around to get close to her in order to throw a rope. Because if you're in a fast moving boat and she falls in the water, well, you're already at a great distance from her. So what the fuck does it mean to just stop the boat, jump in the water, and then try to swim back to her when you can just easily turn the fucking boat around and get close to her and pull her into the boat? It doesn't fucking make no sense, people. Because see, the thing is, first, in order to throw a rope, you have to have eyes on her. You have to know where she was in the water for you first to throw the rope in the vest and then jump in the water to try to save her. But why would you do that and you don't even fucking know her? And then the killer part is simply this, peoples. A motherfucker said that he had swam way from the deep parts of the water back to shore. And they don't even know who the second person is that's jumped in the water. Is that person the one that was missing for all of this time that they still couldn't find? I mean, think about that, peoples. Think about that for one moment. They said, this person said, we didn't even know her, but two of us jumped in the water. And the water was raging. And so one person, they said, swam to shore. You're in the fucking deep part of the ocean, and you're going to have that much strength to fight the waves, because you remember it said it was so fucking bad and heavy. So if the water is heavy, which it is, peoples, ain't nobody going to be able to fucking swim and ride the waves, and the water is so goddamn heavy. First and foremost, your body temperature is going to go down. You're going to get exhausted because you're fighting the waves. And then you got miles and miles and miles between you and civilization to try to swim to shore. And then if you're lost, the other person is lost. Because if you had to swim to shore, that means that they didn't have eyes on her, and they didn't have eyes on the person who was supposed to have swum to shore. And then they didn't have eyes on the second person who jumped in the water trying to retrieve her. People's, the fucking narrative don't make no goddamn sense. It was pure D murder, period. Pure D murder. Ain't no way to look around it, peoples. It's pure D murder. I don't care how you look at it. I don't care how you twist and turn it, how you flip it up and down and things. It was pure D murder. Now, all of you people who supposedly had set your asses up here and thinking that, oh, well, a wave had hit and she fell in the water. How in the fuck did that happen? Anybody? How in the fuck did that happen? Because it didn't happen on a moving boat. I said it didn't happen on a moving boat. And then they're out in the middle of nowhere land. And then her body happens to wash up about 1.5 miles away from the Navy pier. Where did they start off at, peoples? For her body to float 1.5 miles away from the Navy pier. 1.5 miles away. So 1.5 miles out from the Navy pier, the water is not turbulent. But you go further out, as you can see, because see, the thing is, if they were ever close to the pier, peoples, they wouldn't have been able to be treading that water so fast and furious like we seen in the video. It ain't no way that they can be at high speed. This girl is up on top of the boat, didn't fall in, because if she did, they wouldn't have never found her at the speeds that they were going. They didn't find the person, the two people who jumped in. They didn't find her. So it doesn't make no sense, peoples, that somebody is going to jump in the water to try to save a girl who they don't even know, and then they got to swim to shore because the people couldn't find him. And then the people couldn't find the other person who jumped in, and then this bitch is going to sit up here and make a post, I hate y'all. Why the fuck do you hate us when we are only just expressing what you did? Peoples, if you don't understand that this was murder, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. It was murder. Plain and simple. It was murder. No way around it. I don't care how you view it, how you twist and turn it and stuff. This young lady did not fall into no goddamn water in a fast moving boat. They had to be stationary. And if they were stationary and she fell in the water, if they couldn't find her, they couldn't find the other two people that fell into the water. So you know what that tells me? That tells me inexperienced people that is on the water in a boat that don't even, they shouldn't have been on the boat in the first place. They shouldn't have been out there in deep water in the second place. And in the third place, they should have had life vests, but none of them did. So if they couldn't find her, what makes you think that they can find the people who jumped into the water? Because they didn't say that they rescued the two people that jumped in the water, right? One was supposed to swim ashore. Where in the fuck is the other one? Did they ever find the body? Because certainly that person is dead. Trying to save the life of this young lady. And then somebody's going to get on here talking about they hate everybody when you're the fucking guilty one, because you're the fucking one who made the post, and the one who made the post is the one who's chiming out, because you even said in your post, we threw two people in. So you threw her in, and then you threw other two people in, and then they're trying to give the narrative, oh no, we just jumped in on our own accord trying to help her. But you didn't fucking help her. And then you're swimming miles and miles and miles and miles from the middle of the ocean back to the pier, really? In cold, frigid waters. And the water is heavy, and the winds and the waves is blowing and stuff, and you're fighting that. Because I'm only going by what she said in the narrative, people. I didn't say that. That's what she said in the narrative. The water was heavy. You know it's fucking cold out there, but the water was heavy. How in the fuck is any human being going to be able to swim in raging waters and swim miles back to a goddamn pier? Give me a motherfucking break, peoples. If you believe that narrative, you are so goddamn stupid. Now for the mother. Ma'am, what the fuck is your problem? I said, what the fuck is your problem? Kitty Wells. People, let's look at this bullshit, because I got pissed off when I saw this shit. I was going to donate and stuff, but then I saw the post and they were asking for $24,000 fucking dollars. Who in the fuck were you going to feed, Mel? Your daughter wasn't a celebrity. I didn't know her. It's just only a certain group of people out in Chicago knew her. I didn't know her. But you're asking for $24,000 to go feed a bunch of who? The fucking community? The fucking city? You got to be, you literally got to be out your everlasting mind to ask for $24,000 to feed a bunch of people who you don't even fucking know. Peoples, I have filmed funerals all over the United States for over 20 years. And I ain't never seen nobody ask for no $24,000 to feed a bunch of heathens. A bunch of lowlives, a bunch of ghetto fabulous motherfuckers. A bunch of ghetto queens and kings. A bunch of negros. And in Mexican terms, niggas. suckers, ghetto fabulous fuckers, hoes and pimps, and the likes, peoples. You're going to take my hard-earned money and fill the bellies of these suckers, people? Ma'am, you got to be out your everlasting goddamn mind. And then you, instead of fighting for justice for your daughter and trying to get a police investigation going and get the Coast Guard involved in making an investigation, you just take it for face value. Oh fuck, my daughter is gone. You know, a wave just hit her. She flew off the boat and stuff, and that's it. So now let me sit my ass over here and fake cry because I didn't see no goddamn tears running under those sunglasses. Take those motherfuckers off and let me see your goddamn eyes, ma'am. Are those motherfuckers, are they burning red? Did you really cry for your daughter? Or did nothing happen to your daughter? Because see, ma'am, Kanika Jenkins was Zahrie Wall's best friend. And fuck TM got on here talking about, oh, I didn't even know who she was. I know she came over and did Kanika's hair, but that's all that I know about her. So Zahrie Walls is Kanika Jenkins' best friend, TM, and you don't even know the fuck who Zahrie Walls was? Really, Mel? Really? She's her best fucking friend, and you don't even know who the fuck she was? And then you say, oh, well, Queen, get with me. Get with me. If you need some help, get with me. I'm here. I ain't got much, but I'll get you something. So where's the fucking millions at, TM? Where's the fucking millions at? You ain't got much now, huh? Yes, and spending it on Botox and breast tox and Botox. So you spent it on that fake gear for your body, and you ain't got shit else, but now you want the queen to come seek you out to try to get some help. Bitch, please, Tim. Please, ma'am. Give me a fucking break. The goddamn woman lost her daughter, and then you want her to call you to try to get some goddamn help? Bitch, take your ass over there, reach out to her, and if you're gonna fucking help her, shit. Why are you making a goddamn post? Clout status. If you're going to help somebody, you ain't gotta fucking broadcast it, ma'am. Help the woman. But nah, the queen has to reach out to your ass. Well, why would the queen reach out to your ass when she don't even know your ass? She fucking knew your daughter, but you didn't fucking know her daughter. How ironic is that, Tim? This girl has a tattoo of Kanika written above her breast to remind her of her best friend. And her mother knows Kanika. But you don't even know who in the fuck Zahrie Walls is. And then you want her mother to reach out to you. You are a sick bitch. You are so fucking sick. That just, man, peoples, when I saw that goddamn live, I said, what the fuck is wrong with this bitch? Want this lady to reach out to your goddamn ass for what? She don't even know you, TM. And then for her to ask for $24,000, who in the fuck was she going to feed? The whole goddamn community? $24,000. People's, I was going to donate $2,000 Just like I donated to TM. I donated to TM a lot of fucking money to that cause. And then where did it go? Where did it go? And I was going to do the same for this lady because I said, well, damn, Zahrie, the girl was tough. She had a body, she had a brain, she had goddamn talent. And I was so proud of this young lady because, although she dressed provocative, she wore it well, but she told these young ladies, look, not only do I have a body, but I have brains. I work. I did these people hair. I showcase my talents. I'm a model. I'm rocking these fashion clothes and things. I'm making money. I'm letting you know, shit, you can be whatever you want to be, but you got to put in the work. You can't be out here hoeing and talking stupid and acting ignorant and things like that. Get your motherfucking ass up and take your ass to work and make something out of yourself. And even if you're going to use the goddamn fake hair, make that shit look tight and make it right. And that's what Zahrie Walls did. She showed these young ladies how to do it. And peoples, the next day, you guys got to go back and watch that live. The next day, I made a tribute to Zahrie Walls, and I've showcased her talent, and I've shown you all of the different people's hair she did. Mad talent, straight mad talent. And her goddamn mom wants to try to jump off on the fame that this girl had been able to do. And that pissed me off. Sit up there with your fucking fake crying and shit. Oh, my daughter. Take off those motherfucking sunglasses, ma'am, because you ain't crying. I didn't see no goddamn tears run. And then you had all of these people over there hugging her and stuff and said, man, please, boy, look at here. People, let's look at that. And then I'm getting off here because I have to go to the hospital. My daughter is in the hospital. And so I got to take her something. But I'm going to come back with part 2 to this. Not tonight, but tomorrow. So y'all go back and y'all watch my lives. Y'all come. Y'all subscribe to my channel. Y'all like the channel. And then share the fuck out this channel. And then whether you agree with me or disagree with me, you can't deny people that I made a very good argument, because where you suckers sat up here and want to just say, oh, well, a wave had hit and she blew off the boat. Peoples, you got to analyze this shit. You got to think about it. I'm a very meticulous, analytical person. I look at things, I analyze it, I break that shit down, and I try to make sense of it. And what this fucking bitch, what she had posted and shit, she hate us. What the fuck are you hating us for? We ain't got no hate nowhere in our hearts towards you because we don't know you, bitch. But we feel sorry for your stupid ass because, see, the thing is, the Bible says, bitch, be not deceived, for God is not mocked. Whatso a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So, bitch, karma is coming for you and those people on that boat. And I feel sorry for you because when the Lord pronounced judgment on your stupid ass, I'm not going to sit back and laugh. I'm just going to sit back and just say to myself, well, that's what you get. Because this young lady's life is taken. All for what? Jealousy, enviness, strife? Or was it revenge? What was it fucking revenge? Is it fucking revenge because of Kanika? I mean, people are trying to connect Kanika to this and stuff. You know, I don't know. See, until I can get these people's names, I can't make that connection. I can't make that connection, people's. You know, I'm not going to try to connect it to Kanika until I get some names and do some research on these motherfuckers to see who in the fuck made the post. And why are the other people who was on that boat ain't saying shit? Everybody is mum's the motherfucking word. I searched the internet up and down, and all I'm hearing is all of these innuendos and all of this shit about they said this, they said that. Notice how she said they. Yeah, it's they because it was you and all of those other motherfuckers on that goddamn boat. So you all motherfuckers is guilty as sin. And your ass ain't getting in. See, Zahrie had ass. That's what helped her float upon the waters because she was like a fucking boat herself. That ass kept her afloat. Y'all be thinking that the people would be sinking in the water. No, her ass kept her up above water. You don't believe that, people. It's the truth. People don't sink to the bottom of no goddamn water. They float. And your ass and your breast is the lightest part of your body. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to float. You're going to float in the water. All you do is just lay back on your back, stretch out your arms, and you will float. Keep your legs together. And then all you do is just tilt your head back, and then you can kind of see where you're going and stuff. And then with your hands, kind of like push yourself in the water, just like you're rowing a boat. Roll, roll, roll your boat gently down the stream. Well, you're not rowing gently down the goddamn stream. You're pushing yourself through the goddamn waters and the waves and trying to get yourself to shore. She didn't sink, peoples. She floated. That's science. Go look it up. It's science, peoples. I just shown you, if you watch my live the other day, I shown you the professionals and what you do when you are in water. I told you that before I even show you in the video. Now, I'm a good swimmer, you know, and I gave you techniques on what to do if you ever find yourself in a situation like that. But if you're in the middle of the sea, just lay your ass back and float and let the current take you wherever it's going to take you. But most of the times, people, you know, the current will take you to calmer waters. If you can stand, you know, being in the water for that long and the sun beaming down on you and things without no water or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, you know, your chances of living is 50-50. But if you're not too far from, you know, land and you can see it, just arch your arms outwards, keep your legs together, and then just with your arms, you know, just gently push and then just kind of pedal a little bit with your feet in the direction of land. And then, you know, just ride with the current, ride with the current, ride with the current. Don't over exhaust yourself or over exert yourself because you will tire out real quick. Your muscles will start to tighten up, and then after a while, you won't be able to move. Then, you know, but just gently do it because the waves will start to push you in that direction. All you got to do is just ride the waves. That's it. If you ever find yourself in a situation like that and, you know, you're not too far from shore, ride the waves and let the waves help guide you to safety. If you ever find yourself in that situation, peoples. But she floated. And she floated from where they were in the deep waters to 1.5 miles from shore because the current pushed her there. A mile and a half, peoples. You're out in the thick of the ocean, and then you're only just a mile and a half from safety. So they never did say whether she was alive. They never did say whether she's dead, but they didn't have to say it because what they did say was she died at the hospital. So if she died at the hospital, that means that she still was alive. She was unconscious, but she was alive. But because her body had went through all of that, and I'm sure that she went through major hypothermia, you know, whatever they did or however they did, that probably caused her into cardiac arrest or whatever. And her body was so weak to fight that she passed away. But according to the report, and this is not no official report. This was some person, and I'm gonna show you that on my next slide because I have to put that together. I was splicing that up so I can show you the little post, the little clips and things of what this person was saying. And so I guess they're the official spokesperson, but they said that she died at the hospital. So if she died at the hospital, that means peoples that she was alive when they had found her. And I can only surmise that she probably went into cardiac arrest, warming up the body and things and stuff. But her body was way too weak to fight. So it was inevitable, regardless if they found her alive or not. It was inevitable, peoples, because her body was so weak. And it's been such a time because from the reports of them finding her, because all we heard just on the news is that they found her. They never gave us a time when they found her, but they said that they found her, and they said that they found her about a mile and a half away from the pier. That's what the news reporter said. They didn't give no more other details than that. So I'm trying to figure out how in the fuck did anybody else ever get any great details when shit, there was no official person giving any great details as to her condition and shit. You understand what I'm saying? People, let's listen to this.
And at Navy Pier, CFD says a man was also sent to Northwestern in critical condition. The wind was a major factor this weekend.
An active drowning person will.
Recent groups are going to beaches this weekend. Keep an eye on who you go with. He says if a person drowns, they won't yell and wave. It's quiet, quick, and leads to unfortunate outcomes.
And that's what happens, peoples. Now let's look at this. Okay, so that's just a little. That is just a little on thing. I thought that I had the other video. Let me see if I have the other video. I have it right here. So let's play the intro to this. Let me play this.
Well, safety on the lake is a major concern right now as we face that blistering hot day ahead of us across the whole area.
Good morning. Good to be with both of you. Yeah, with the extreme heat, people are flocking to the lakefront. No surprise there. That trend expected to continue as we approach more into those 90-degree temperatures that Laura was just talking about. And then at Navy Pier, 27-year-old Zahrie Walls fell off a boat. The U.S. Coast Guard found her about a mile and a half offshore, pulled her in, but sadly she later died at an area hospital.
And shout out to my friend Brazy Certified World Media for sending some of the content to this so I can make that beautiful little short for you all. Mad talent the brother has. And then shout out to I forget his name, TV, the one whose video that I had used in this live. So shout out to him as well. And so people see there you have it right there. This is so fucking crazy because they said that another person or people tried to save this girl. So that's telling you that her own fucking friends didn't try to do anything. And let me remind you, peoples, that nobody is ever going to jump off a moving boat. Nobody. No, nobody's going to jump off a moving boat. So that means that if it happened in a manner to which they stated, the boat had to be stationary. And if the boat is stationary, how in the fuck did she fall into the water? And we seen her on the center of the boat in front. And that boat was moving ever so fast. The wind is blowing, the waves is rocking and stuff. And she didn't fall off. You think that she ever thought that her life was in danger? By sitting up there, she was comfortable. And she had her phone going live. You didn't see her bracing herself. So the narrative, people, is that they are trying to push out there. That shit doesn't make no motherfucking sense. It doesn't. And somebody else risked their lives for her, but yet somebody else's life probably had been taken because the second person that jumped in the water, as they proclaimed, where in the fuck is he or she? You don't see him. And then the person that was supposed to had literally swam miles to shore. Give me a motherfucking break, peoples. Because that shit did not happen. Those motherfuckers have literally killed that girl. And it's those suckers back there right on the boat that you see. Because like I said, peoples, if she ever thought that her life was in danger, there is no way that she'd be riding the waves as she's doing right now. No way whatsoever. Without a life vest, the boat is flying so fast in the water. The boat is rocking. The waves is rocking. The wind is rocking. And she's up there taking a selfie. Help me to make that make sense, peoples. This right here just literally tells you her life was never in danger until those suckers threw her off that boat. Ain't no way that no wave had came to knock her off. Thank you, Zahrie. See, she's giving me a kiss, people, because she's saying, thank you, Edward Joseph, for shedding light upon this that happened to me. And let's come together and bring these suckers to justice, because Zahrie Walls needs justice, peoples. And if you don't believe that this was a goddamn murder, well, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. All right, people, that's it. That's all that I have. I will come back with part 2 on tomorrow. I got to get in here. I got to get down to the hospital and things. And after that, I'm going to bed. So I'll be here tomorrow, peoples. You guys share the fuck out this live. Share the fuck out this live, peoples. Let the people know. Then like and then subscribe to this channel because we're only just going to keep it real here. Keep it real in 100. And then tomorrow we're going to focus upon Mama. Mama. Now, better yet, before I leave, I got a little bit of time. I got about 7 more minutes. Let's focus on Mama right here, people. So let me go to Facebook real quick. Let me go to Facebook real quick right here. Okay. Let me do this. Kitty Wells. Her name is Kitty Wells, peoples. Kitty Wells. All right, Kitty Wells, where's your channel at? Let's go to your channel. Okay, there we go. All right, people, so let me share my screen real quick. Because I got something to say to this lady right here, Kitty Wells. I got something to say. And if I piss you off, who give a fuck? Kitty Wells. This is her right here. This is her page. Kitty Wells. All right. You know, that's Kitty Wells in Zahrie Walls. All right. Like mother, like daughter. And see, there's that brown round right there, peoples. That brown round, that ground round. But that's okay because she wore it well, peoples. Yes, she did. She wore it well. And then this is the famous picture that they put on here as well. You know, and pictures right here. So this is what I want to show you right here, peoples. This right here, this video right here, I want to show you. Now, see, this is what got me stirred up because all of this so-called I'm in tears type of shit, and I ain't even seen a motherfucking tear fall from under those glasses. Let's look at this shit, peoples. I said I haven't seen a motherfucking tear fall from those goddamn glasses. Let's see. Why come I can't play this video? All right. I think my computer had locked up on this screen. Let me press exit. There we go. All right. Let's see if it'll work now. There we go. Okay. Let's listen in, peoples.
I want to thank all you guys for coming out for my baby. I knew she was special when I first gave birth. I was only 19 years old. I just knew I didn't want my baby to struggle the way I did. I supported her in every way. She left a legacy. At 27 years old. She only had the opportunity to be 27 years old for 3 months. I'm trying not to question God, but it hurts so bad. But I know one thing, my baby loved me. My baby loved me, and she knew I loved her. She loved creating stuff so that I could start acting crazy. She called me Kilo when I was acting crazy. I don't know how I'm gonna bear it. I don't.
All right, people. So a fucking act. Where in the fuck was the tears? All I seen was just a snotty nose, but where in the fuck was the tears? Where's the fucking tears? Your daughter is gone, and that's the all that you can goddamn say? And you can't show no goddamn tears? Take off those motherfucking shades and show your eyes. Where's the fucking tears at, peoples? All I seen was just a snotty nose with no goddamn tears. $24 to feed all of those motherfuckers out there. Now, do you understand, people, why I chose yellow? I chose yellow because that was Zahir's favorite color, and that was Kanika's favorite color. If you didn't know, yellow, and that's why I have half yellow and half red. The yellow is because I'm representing Zahir Walls. The red is because she was murdered. Do you guys get it now? Do you understand it now? I had to split this in half because, see, the red is where she died. The yellow is life. And that's the reasoning for why I did it this way, peoples. Live on, Zaire Walls. Live on, Mel. They say that you're there with Kanika because Paranormal Kitty said that you're with Kanika. She asked you questions and you gave her answers according to her. Paranormal Kitty. So Paranormal Kitty, I want you to do me one favor because I know you're watching this live too. Ask Zaire who in the fuck killed her. Ask her that for me. And let's see what she say. I'll be watching. All right, people, so that's it. That's all that I have for tonight. Thank you for coming. You guys like, you guys subscribe, and you guys share this channel. And you guys come back again. I'll do part 2 on tomorrow if the Lord says the same. But for right now, I got to get to the hospital. So, peoples, I hope I had said something to encourage your hearts upon today. Tune in again next time to when Edward Joseph Let's Talk Live, Edward Joseph Kitchen, Edward Joseph Gospel Hour, Edward Joseph's Blessings Giveaway 2025 will come to you with something wonderful. I love you with the love of Christ, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Peoples, mask up and be safe. And again, peoples, if God says the same, I will be back on tomorrow. And then we will do part 2 with Zaire's Walls. She was murdered. It wasn't an accident. You guys be blessed and get some rest. And I will see you soon. God bless you all. Thank you for watching.
Well, safety on the lake is a major concern right now as we face that blistering hot day ahead of us across the whole area.
Hi, good morning. Good to be with both of you. Yeah, with the extreme heat, people are flocking to the lakefront. No surprise there. That trend expected to continue as we approach more into those 90-degree temperatures that Laura was just talking about. And then at Navy Pier, 27-year-old Zahrie fell off a boat. The U.S. Coast Guard found her about a mile and a half offshore, pulled her in, but sadly she later died at an area hospital.